Hey YouTube, this is John with My Geocaching Story, and I'm joined today with Brian Burket of Jaxparks. He's part of the Department of Parks and Recreation for Jacksonville. He's our go-to guy when it comes to geocaching in Jacksonville. Brian, thanks so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about what you do for geocaching in Jacksonville.
Sure, well I'm the local reviewer of cache requests. So if somebody wants to place a cache in one of our city parks, they'll get directed to me for review and approval. So it's a pretty easy process. All I need is an email with the coordinates and a brief description of the type of cache and how you're going to hide it, just so I can review, make sure it matches the standard guidelines.
There are some guidelines that we have to follow when hiding in a Jaxpark park. What are the purpose of those guidelines?
Those guidelines are really one, to make sure we don't oversaturate a park. You know, most of our guidelines are the standard ones I think you find elsewhere. You know, a tenth of a mile between caches, and then also they need to be within a developed area or along an established trail or road. And that way you prevent these informal trails being cut. You know, which one affects the resources,
right,
and then also gets people confused. If you're not a geocacher, you see these little side trails. So,
right,
you know, those are reasons why we have the rules. Those are probably the two most important, and the ones that usually catch people on is, you know, they don't have quite the distance that is necessary, or they go a little too far off the established trail. So those are usually the two things that I look for the most. But for the most part, people are really good. And it's just a matter of I got to check it real quick, and then I'll send an approval. Usually, if not that day, within the next day or two.
Right. I know for mine, it's been a very quick process. So we are very lucky in Jacksonville to have such a responsive and receptive government body that is a fan of geocaching. Tell us a little bit about the Jaxparks Geocaching Challenge. How has that played out over the last 3 years?
It's been a great success in my eyes. We've been getting visitors. Not only, I think, not only has geocaching grown locally, but we've been bringing in people from around the region, and people from even outside the region. We've had some people. I don't know if they flew in for our Jaxparks challenge, but you know, while they're here, they actually, you know, they looked forward to doing the challenge. We had, I think, 1 or 2 people come over from Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool that we actually found out about it too.
Yeah.
So, and funny story, I think it was the first year this couple had come over again. They were visiting family from Europe, and we had actually given out all the coins. It was near the end of the first year's challenge, but I shared the story with our director at the time, and she was so touched. She had one, you know, souvenir coin that she's like, I got to give them to. So we sent it overseas, and they're so appreciative. So that was a pretty cool story.
That's great.
Yeah, and so we're in our 3rd year now, and we've actually each year it's been getting more popular, and we've already given out all the coins. Unfortunately, this year we've capped it at 100 coins to really make it a challenge. I know everyone's not a fan of, you know, the fact that, you know, if you complete it, we don't have something for you, but. You know, that's part of the challenge. That's what the goal that we created. So, if you want a coin next year, you might want to get an early start.
You got to jump on it. Got to get on the stick.
Yeah.
Well, I know I enjoyed it. The first year I did it was the 2nd year, and that is what really got my family into geocaching. We had such a great time doing that Jaxparks challenge that this year I became part of the team putting them out. Right. So, it's just a really neat thing to do. And really appreciate you guys putting that together and working with Lenny and the community to really make Jacksonville a spot on the geocaching map.
Absolutely. Well, all we had the easy part. We just had to say yes and point out which parks we'd like to highlight. But Lenny and yourself and the rest of the volunteers that put it together, of course, did the lion's share of the work, and we're so appreciative. We can't do hardly anything these days without leaning on our volunteers. So, the event is one example, but then also the CITOs that you all lead throughout the year is fantastic and well appreciated, because you all get into areas of the parks that not all park visitors will take the time to explore. So when you're out there having fun doing your activity, picking up trash along the way is definitely appreciated.
Well, very good. Yeah. Brian, I appreciate you taking time to join us today.
Yeah.
Guys, if you like this video, if you want to learn more about geocaching or Jaxparks, the challenges that they offer, visit mygeocachingstory.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll have more videos like this. Brian, when was the last time you found a geocache?
Put me on the spot here.
Yeah, right. If you want to see Brian find a geocache, let me know in the comments below. I'll make it happen. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.